In our last video, we talked about using a smart remote to control your air conditioners. And I mentioned there the weaknesses of a dedicated smart AC remote inside a smart home, and that a universal smart remote might be a better way to go to get the most bang out of your buck. So in this episode, we'll be taking a look at universal smart remote devices from Xiaomi, Broadlink, and Smart Life so we can decide which one is best suited for your smart home. This is Geek Republic, and this is a comparison video of the Broadlink RM Mini 3, the Xiaomi Mi Universal Remote, and Smart Life Universal Remote Controller. The design department is probably where you'll find the biggest differences among these three devices. Of the trio, I would have to say that the one from Xiaomi has the best design. Compared to the Broadlink and Smart Home, this thing is really large and wide and looks more like a set-top box. It has vents on the underside, a micro USB port, a pinhole reset button, and a single notification light. There's also a large rubber ring at the bottom that provides grip on smooth surfaces. The Smart Life remote, on the other hand, is smaller and has a bit more curves than the Xiaomi. It also has that dual texture design with glossy black plastic on top and matte black at the bottom. Unlike the Xiaomi, the micro USB port is located at the underside of the device. Then we have the Broadlink Black Bean, which is the odd one out from our trio, as this device has what I call the soda can design. Much like the Xiaomi and Smart Life remotes, this one also has a notification LED light, a micro USB port, and a reset button. There are also vents at the bottom, but unlike the other two, this one slides more easily on smooth surfaces as it doesn't have that rubber ring at its underside. Setup for all three devices is relatively similar. When you plug the devices for the first time, they will immediately go into pairing mode with their LED lights blinking very fast. You'll then need to go into the corresponding app on your phone and follow the on-screen instructions, which will often include naming the device, selecting the room where it's located, and of course connecting to your home Wi-Fi network. In case this process doesn't work for the first time, you'll then be asked on the app to go into AP mode, which will require you to reset the device using the pinhole reset button. The LED notification light will then start blinking differently, and you will be asked to connect to the device directly through Wi-Fi. From the three, the Broadlink RM Mini 3 had the most issues during setup. Despite several resets and using two different phones, it seems it has an issue connecting to iPhones. I was only able to successfully set it up after switching to an Android phone and starting the process over. Once you're able to set the devices up with your phone, you can now add the different appliances you have in your home. Typical appliances supported by the apps include TVs, set-top boxes, air conditioners, electric fans, DVD players, air purifiers, water heaters, projector, and light bulbs. Again, the three devices have a very similar process when you add certain appliances. For instance, if you add a TV remote, you'll be asked to select the brand of your TV from their massive database of manufacturers. Once you've done that, you'll then be presented with a set of remote control codes, and you'll need to do a trial and error run to find which of these will work for your TV. If after going through the setup buttons and you're not still able to make your appliance work, the app will then ask you if you want the device to learn the functions of your remote. This is done by using the original remote of your appliance and matching its IR signal from the app's database. All three devices are compatible with both Amazon's Alexa and Google's Assistant, and are quite easy to set up. Once you're done pairing the device to the app and adding your different appliances, you then go to the app of the voice assistant of your choice and add a service or skill that's specific to the device. After that, you'll be able to see your appliances in the voice assistant app, and you can now give orders to them using your phone, smart speaker, or smart display. Another thing you can do with these smart remote devices is home automation. This is done through the use of scenes wherein you set triggers that activate when a specific condition is met. For example, you can set your AC to turn on when the outside temperature hits a certain threshold. It also gets better if you have other smart home devices like TVs, IP cameras, and sensors that belong to the same brand or use the same platform. So far, we've seen that all three devices have relatively similar features and function. However, when it comes to real-world use, there are certain things you need to consider. First, if you're planning on getting the Broadlink RM Mini 3, do note that I had issues pairing it with iPhones. However, if you're on Android and wants the most affordable option, this is a good starting device for your smart home. Now, if you're thinking of getting the Xiaomi Universal Remote, you'll have to know that this device only works when you're on the mainland China server on the Mi Home app. This is particularly important if you're planning to get other Xiaomi smart home devices in the future, as you'll need to have those on the same server to make them work. Another thing I noticed with the Xiaomi is that there's a noticeable delay when you're trying to press a button and when the device sends the infrared signal. I'm not sure if it's because the device is on the China server, but I did notice that in my other Xiaomi devices that are using a local server that the response time is much faster. Lastly, we have the Smart Life Universal Remote, which is actually my favorite among the three. In terms of price, it sits right in the middle of the Broadlink and Xiaomi. The design is also good and setup went well compared to the other two. So that's it, folks. If you're planning to get a universal smart remote device, you can't go wrong with a Smart Life Remote. Now, for our next episode, we'll be taking a look at several Xiaomi devices to help anyone who wants to build their smart home setup. If you have questions about the products we looked at today, let me know in the comment section. And if you haven't yet, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we post new videos.